Good afternoon. I'm Kim Bottomley, president of Wellesley College, and I'm delighted to welcome you to campus for this very special lecture. This afternoon, as part of Wellesley's Madeleine Corbell Albright Institute for Global Affairs, we have the privilege of hearing from Pedro Perez, the former president of Cape Verde, who will speak on freedom, equality, and democracy. President Perez, thank you for making the long journey to Wellesley. We are honored to welcome you here, and we look forward to your lecture today. It is also my pleasure to welcome to our campus our distinguished guests, including Pedro Carvalho, who is the Consul General of Cape Verde. Today's event is part of the Albright Institute at Wellesley College. Every year, the Albright Institute brings together 40 fellows who are Wellesley College students with practitioners from around the world and faculty members to research, to discuss, and to debate global issues. During an intense 3 weeks, students use an interdisciplinary approach to understanding the issues that inform and drive public policy and international affairs. This afternoon is a perfect example of an important aspect of the Institute, which is to bring a focused international perspective to our liberal arts curriculum. The Albright Institute has planned a wonderful afternoon for us. First, we will have greetings from Barney Frank, who has just concluded 3 distinguished decades of service as a U.S. Congressman. We will also hear from Dana Moeller-Faria, the president of Bridgewater State University. Following those greetings, President Perez will speak. We will also have time for a question and answer session moderated by Layli Mapayan, who is the executive director of the Wellesley Centers for Women. And after the question and answer session, I hope all of you will join us downstairs for a reception. It is now my pleasure to introduce Barney Frank. As most of you know, Congressman Frank served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1981 until just last week. He was the chair of the Financial Services Committee from 2007 to 2010, during which time he worked to help mitigate the financial crisis of 2008 and adopt regulations aimed at preventing another such crisis. Throughout his tenure, Congressman Frank was especially attuned to quality of life issues for his constituents here in the 4th District of Massachusetts. He was also a strong advocate for the fishing industry in New Bedford, the transportation system in Southeast Massachusetts, and he supported important environmental projects around the district. He has long been a friend to the Cape Verdean community. In 2010, he was awarded the First Degree Medal of Merit, the highest merit award granted by Cape Verde. Congressman Frank has been the voice for people for many years, and I'm delighted to invite him to lend his voice once more to deliver greetings and remarks. Congressman Frank.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm still luxuriating in having arrived here by car and not having marched from the beginning from Wellesley Hills, which I was doing for 30 years every, first Veterans Day and then Memorial Day. But I'm especially pleased to be here with a great man. President Perez has been honored internationally for his work as a champion of democracy. I am very grateful to him and to his fellow Cabo Verdeans for helping refute 2 very damaging myths. One myth is that if you start out poor as a country, as Cape Verde did, not because of any want of energy on their part, but because of the historical circumstances of the colonialism, that if you start out poor and you want to progress economically, democracy is a luxury, that you cannot bog yourself down in elections and debates and all of that, it will retard you economically. I am very proud that one of the projects I was able to work on in my service as a member of Congress was the selection of Cape Verde as one of the first countries to participate in George Bush's Millennium Challenge, which was a foreign aid revamp done by President George W. Bush, which focused on economic growth within reasonable conditions. And I am particularly pleased to be able to note, and there's been too little attention to this, that not only was Cape Verde in the first round, but it became the first one to get a second round because they so well executed the strategy. So Cape Verde is a refutation of those who believe that democracy and economic development are incompatible. And I say that because few countries have had the degree of party switching. President from one party, president of another party. They have had close elections which have been accepted with less rancor than our 2000 election. This was more legitimate too, so there was reason for that. But Cape Verde has been a democracy, and it is of the countries that have come to independence since World War II, it is one of the few with a perfect record of democracy, and that's the second myth that they have helped to get rid of, which is that democracy, the right to vote for the people who rule you, free speech, that those are somehow cultural artifacts of the West, and that they are not universal human values. Well, the people of Cape Verde have shown, yes, they are universal human values, that all people want to be able to determine who governs them and to speak out. And you have seen a functioning, thriving democracy in this country, which was new and which was poor and which has done so well. The last point I would make is it is an affirmation, the role of the Cape Verdean Americans, of the fundamental fact. We are talking about immigration, and this is a chance to remind people of the value of immigration. There are countries in the world where minorities have rights. In America, we should not think about minority rights because uniquely we have no majority. There are people in France and Germany and a lot of countries, they're the majority. They can be nice to other people. We are a country with no inherent majority. We are a country that was built in terms of our population by immigrants. And I genuinely believe that that is why America has been so successful economically. And the reason is very simple. Lazy people do not immigrate. Think what it takes to pick up and move from the society in which you have grown up, where you have your roots, where you know people, and come to a foreign country, where you may not speak the language, where you won't have any particular contacts. And it's the fact, if anything, we ought to apologize to the rest of the world for being the place where the smartest and most energetic and most entrepreneurial people could come. Because that's who populates America, those people and their descendants. Now, it is true that we haven't always responded well, and we do have in America a problem with bilingualism. The problem is far too few of us are bilingual. We are the only country in the world where the average highly educated person only speaks one language. And that is something we ought to be trying very hard to change. With President Peters here, representing this, he's not the president anymore, but I have a certain vested interest in continuing to give people the title that they had for a while. He comes as the representative of one of the new countries that has been a flourishing democracy, that has made great strides economically, although obviously it has places to go, and as someone of whom an important immigrant community in this country, and particularly in this state, is justifiably proud. So I thank Wellesley for this recognition to a man and a cause which greatly deserves it, and for honoring our neighbors throughout Massachusetts of Cape Verdean descent who have contributed so much and are so proud. Obrigado.
Thank you, Congressman Frank. I would now like to call on Dana Moeller Faria, who is the president of Bridgewater State University, and who at the time of his inauguration in 2002 was only the second Cape Verdean in the United States to be appointed president of a college or university. So it's our great pleasure to welcome President Moeller Faria.
Thank you very much, President Bottomley. And thank you for inviting me to be here this afternoon to share the stage with a couple of my good colleagues and friends, Congressman Frank, who, by the way, where are you, Bonnie? There's Bonnie. Very modest man. I must tell you that he has been a champion for Massachusetts and southeastern Massachusetts, and we're sorry to see you leave office, but we wish you the best in the future, and thank you for everything you've done for the Commonwealth. As I listened to Congressman Frank talk about America and the promise of America and what it brings, I stand before you as a product of that American dream, of grandparents who came to the U.S. from Cape Verde with an uncertain future, not knowing what lay before them, how they would make it, how they would integrate into a culture, not knowing the language, not knowing the people, and who struggled and who worked hard and who understood that part of that American dream was not simply to fulfill their wishes and dreams for themselves, but for their children and their grandchildren. And so to stand before you as a president of the largest state university in Massachusetts, having come from that, it really is a testament to the American dream and what's possible in America. In Cape Verde, it is an amazing transformation that has taken place. And it is in no short congratulations and contributions on the part of Pedro Pires, who has been, from the beginning, a leader in Cape Verde. As a young man in the 60s, understanding the desire and the hunger for democracy and freedom, and banding together with his colleagues and friends and leading the fight for independence. It has been a decade that I have known the president and have worked with him in Cape Verde. And what I will tell you is that the amazing transformation in Cape Verde is not simply about a political transformation, but it is a transformation of a society. It is a delivery of democracy in a form in Africa that has yet been unmatched. And it is the hopes, the dreams, the commitment of that group of revolutionaries that planted the seed for the transformation in Cape Verde. In my 7 or 8 trips to Cape Verde in the last decade, I have seen the infrastructure transform. I've seen the government change. I've seen a streamlining of services. I've seen the introduction, and we have been fortunate to be part of the transformation in education. And what we see is a nation that is held up not only by the U.S. but by the Western world as a model of democracy in Africa. That is the spirit of Cape Verde. That is the drive, the desire, the hunger for freedom and democracy, justice and equity. And Pedro Pires is at the root of all of that transformation from the beginning. From 1975, following the move for independence or the gain of independence, he served as the Prime Minister until 1991. In that time, we saw a growth in the GDP in Cape Verde of 2.5 times. He not only stabilized the government and introduced a transitional democracy that led to the the government that exists today and the solid democracy that exists, but he also focused on the needs of the people. Recently, a year ago, he won the Mo Ibrahim Prize for Leadership in Africa. That is a prize that is given for a leader who demonstrates the kind of leadership that results in equity and justice for the people of a nation. We have all witnessed and seen the transformations that take place in some moves for independence or revolutions. They don't always end up to be something that's in the best interest of the people. In this case, and in the case of Cape Verde, it certainly has been, and as I say, in no small part, to Pedro Pierce. Cape Verde today has not reached the fruition of its potential. It is not where it needs to be or will be. But what I will tell you, for those of you who are connected and know, you know this and you'll confirm it, it is exciting to watch what is happening. The moves in education have been phenomenal. We at Bridgewater have been directly involved in that transformation, and I've not seen anything happen as quickly, as effectively as it has there. The establishment of their first university some 5 or 6 years ago, that is now a university, and I believe there are 4,000 or 5,000 students at that university, that is creating opportunity for young folks in Cape Verde is amazing to watch and be part of. So as we see this transformation, this is a model. Cape Verde is a model. And the people of Cape Verde retain that spirit of a work ethic, of a commitment, of community, and we see that demonstrated everywhere we go in Cape Verde, and certainly here in Massachusetts. Many of you know or may know that the diaspora here in southeastern Massachusetts is the largest Cape Verdean diaspora in the world. And there are more than 700,000 Cape Verdeans living outside of Cape Verde and only about 500,000 within the nation. So there are more Cape Verdeans abroad than there are in the country. And so the connection of the diasporas around the world to Cape Verde is an important link in their economic development, in their social and political development, and we are all hopefully playing a part in that. Again, I want to, before I conclude, because I don't think I can say it enough, and I speak particularly on behalf of the Cape Verdean community in southeastern Massachusetts. Congressman Frank, your work has been very much a part of the success of Cape Verde and of southeastern Massachusetts in terms of linking those communities, and that has been an incredible benefit to all of us to see that happen. We are now working with the president and with others in Cape Verde to put together an economic trade mission. We did have a group go over a couple of months ago. We are building on that, and we'll have that happen sometime this spring and really begin to strengthen those links. But Congressman Frank, the president, and others have played a major role in that. Finally, what I do want to say to you is at Bridgewater, we have been focused on Cape Verde. We have been working to really find ways in which we can bring a focus to what is happening in Cape Verde, not only to the benefit of people here and there, but as a demonstration of what happens in a developing nation and what can happen with those connections. To that end, we have established and will be opening and operating, hopefully by the fall, the Pedro Pierce Institute for Cape Verdean Studies at Bridgewater State University. Ladies and gentlemen, a true hero, a true freedom fighter, a man of justice, equity, and democracy, President Pedro Pierce.
Senhora Presidente de Wellesley College, Senhor Congressman Barney Frank e Senhor Presidente da Universidade de Bridgewater, amigas e amigos, ladies and gentlemen.
President of the Wellesley College, Congressman Frank, Mr. President of Bridgewater State University, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen.
Primeiro, agradecer todas as palavras a respeito de minha pessoa, de presidente da Wellesley College, de Congressman Barney Frank e de meu amigo Dana Freia.
Allow me to first thank the kind words that were addressed to me here by Mrs. President, by Congressman Frank and my dear friend Dana Faria.
E na vida, no começar, e teve o privilégio de participar numa luta de libertação do povo de Cabo Verde. No começar, e nunca sabia onde é que aquele caminho levava a nós. Teve sorte que caminho levando para um bom lugar, para um bom porto.
My life started, I'd say I had the privilege of participating in the struggle for the liberation of Cape Verde. And when we started, we did not know where it would end. And I am pleased to know today that we ended at a good port.
Nunca fazer mais do que responder a chamamento e responder a nossa responsabilidade naquele momento. Qualquer está fazendo a mesma coisa.
We did no more than respond to a call, to respond to what would be our responsibility at the moment. And I believe that anyone in that same moment and that same place would do the same.
Desde o primeiro dia, não começa a fazer duas coisas. Está agir, outro está aprender.
From the beginning, we start with two things in mind: to act and to learn.
E nas duas condições que nos chega dia de hoje, nos procurar aprender durante toda a nossa vida. Teve humildade de aprender, sabedoria de que é preciso aprender sempre.
And it was with these conditions, these two precedents, that we were able to get where we are today. The humbleness to learn and the wisdom to continue to do what we had to do.
Não aprender na condição de combatente, não aprender na condição de primeiro-ministro, não aprender na condição de presidente da República.
We learned as freedom fighters, as prime minister, and as the president of the Republic of Cape Verde.
A conversa que Isabel tem conosco é aquele que empreende na todo esse tempo.
And my conversation here today with you is about what I've learned through this time.
Todo o tempo, também adotamos uma atitude de perguntar a nossa cabeça, de perguntar e, afinal, nos fazer coisa direito, perguntar, afinal, nos estava no bom caminho, perguntar, afinal, como é que é alguém que nos trabalha com ele, nossa sociedade, se está a receber aquilo que não está a fazer.
And through all this time, we kept in mind that we would always have to question whether we were doing the right things, if we were following the right way, and if people were pleased with what we were doing.
Mas não aprender uma coisa que é importante na vida. Nenhum de nós é dono de verdade a 100%. Verdade está distribuído para cada um de nós.
And we learned one thing, that no one detains 100% of the truth. The truth is distributed among all of us.
Não se vê papel de liberdade, democracia, Estado de Direito e cidadania. Mas no estudo que está ali também é ator. E está participando nesse processo.
I want to talk today about liberty, about democracy, about the state of law, and citizenship.
No estudo,
And
nessa matéria é ator. Quer dizer,
all of you
não está a
are
participar.
participants.
Ele toma parte. Eu saber que ele é melhor, talvez melhor que mim, não?
all of you are players in these issues that I'm going to mention here, and probably some of you know more than I do about these topics.
Primeira questão, liberdade.
First question, liberty.
Liberdade é aquela condição que é fundamental para nos realizar na nossa qualidade de homem, na nossa qualidade de mulher, enquanto pessoa.
Liberty is a fundamental condition for us to realize as men, as women, as people.
Se nunca tem liberdade, é impossível não realizar.
Without liberty, it's impossible to realize.
É impossível não realizar individualmente, nós como pessoa, como alguém.
It is impossible to achieve individually as a person.
Mas liberdade não tem que conquistá-la.
But liberty must be conquered.
Ninguém quer te oferecer nela.
It is not given.
Mesmo um Estado de direito consolidado, nós é obrigado a defender todo dia a nossa liberdade.
Even in a state of achieved liberty, we have to always be working for it.
Mas nunca pode ter liberdade se nunca tem independência, se nossa comunidade é que é livre, é que é independente.
But we cannot have liberty if we don't have independence. If our community is not independent,
Então,
we will not have liberty.
não começa a lutar para nossa independência, para não poder ser livre.
Struggle for independence in order to be free.
Se nunca tinha independência, se nunca constituía o nosso Estado soberano, certamente nunca tinha liberdade.
If we didn't have independence, if we did not build a sovereign state as we did, we wouldn't have liberty.
Tem Estado soberano significa que não crê ser responsável, ator de nosso próprio destino.
Being a sovereign state means that we want to be the players of our own destiny.
Esse grande desafio é nos ser dono de nosso destino.
And this is the great challenge, to be the owners, to own our destiny.
Mas se nós é dono de nosso destino, nós é responsável para a construção de nosso destino.
But if we own our destiny, we are also responsible
Se
to
nó-
build that destiny.
Se nós é independente, nós é obrigado a responsabilizar para nosso futuro.
And if we are independent, we are obliged to be responsible for our future.
Que lá é mais da hora que alguém está casado. Ele tá pode ser casa.
The same thing as when you get married, when you build a house.
Ele já de que lá para diante que depende de ser pai, ele depende dele próprio e de ser companheiro ou companheira.
And from then on, you don't depend anymore on your parents. You depend on yourself and your companion.
Se vai independente, vai responsável pelo futuro. Coisa que aconteceu de mal ou de bem é de bom, é boa responsabilidade, não?
And if you are independent, you are responsible for your future. Whatever happens, good or bad, it is your responsibility.
É que é lá que foi nosso caminho. Nos sentimos, nós não tinha que ser responsável para nosso futuro. Se não tem sucesso, é bem para nós. Se nunca tem sucesso, é mau para nós.
And that was the way we felt that we had to be responsible for our future, either good or bad.
Nossa luta é naquela direção.
The struggle had to be in that direction.
Mas a hora que não está para na liberdade, na democracia, não te pergunta qual que é a nossa cartilha.
When we talk about liberty and freedom, we ask about what is to be the ABCs.
Em que te falou nossa Bíblia, porque antes que te
I'm
compreendeu
not
a
going
mim.
to say the Bible because that would probably be politically correct.
Para mim, é a Declaração Universal dos Direitos do Homem,
For me, it is the International Declaration of the Rights of Man,
aprovado para Nações Unidas em 1948.
approved by the United Nations in 1948.
De facto, é um grande documento.
In fact, it is a great document.
Esteve a pensar naquela como e face diante de teu comportamentos ou de teu coisas que estou oferecendo como regime político.
And I had to reflect a lot about the international human rights when I looked at things that were offered or presented to us as options for the country.
Parecendo a mim que aquele deve ser nosso documento principal ou aquele que nos deve respeitar sempre.
And I think that is the major document that we should all and always respect.
Tudo que pode dignificar o homem, dignificar a humanidade, está na Declaração Universal de Direitos do Homem.
Everything that can dignify humanity, men and women, is in the Declaration of Human Rights.
Ninguém que pode falar que ela está a favor da democracia se ela quer respeitar a Declaração Universal de Direitos do Homem.
No one can say you are in favor of democracy if you do not respect the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Agora, democracia ou regime democrático é uma construção.
Democracy or democratic regime, it is a process, it's a construction.
É uma instituição que não tem que construir todo dia, não?
It is an institution that needs to be built every day.
Por isso, está que democracia está baseada na democratização progressiva de toda a sociedade.
And that's why I believe that democracy is based in the progressive democratization of societies.
Talvez no papel mais na democratização do que na democracia. Democracia é resultado de democratização. Da mesma forma que democracia está a favorecer a democratização.
We will talk more about democratization than democracy, because democracy is a result of democratization.
Nem debate, discussão ultimamente conheço amigos africanos que estão participando na fórum. Comecei a introduzir as ideias de democratização. porque sociedades africanas precisam de democratizar internamente. Nunca tem democracia. Para mim, se nunca tem sociedade democrática.
In my recent debates with my colleagues, my African colleagues, we've been talking about this topic, about democratization, because Africa needs democracy through the process of democratization. And if we don't do that, we will not achieve democracy.
De novo, é um processo, é uma construção.
Again, it is a process, it is a construction.
Outra questão que para mim é fundamental é a questão do Estado de Direito.
Another question that is so important to me is the state of law.
Ele te põe uma pergunta: qual que é antes? É democracia ou é Estado de Direito?
And here I have to put a question. What comes first? Is it the state of right or is it democracy?
E a esse propósito, ele também tem estado a discutir com gente, de falar assim, não deve insistir no Estado de Direito.
And in this I have a position. I've been telling that we should insist in the state of law.
Boca tem democracia, se Boca tem um Estado de Direito, que é para promover a democracia, mas ao mesmo para garantir direitos democráticos, não?
We will not have democracy if we do not have a state of right to protect and to defend the democracy.
E minha busca, minha procura de justificar minha posição a propósito do Estado de Direito, que não deve, na África, não deve insistir mais no Estado de Direito e depois menos na democracia formal.
And in search of these answers, I have been trying to see because in Africa we need more the state of law than we need democracy. Because it is through the state of law that we can achieve democracy.
Então, encontrar uma declaração de Fukuyama. Ele está falando mais num jornal, Journal of Democracy, de janeiro de 2010. O título desse artigo é Transitions to the Rule of Law.
And I found an article on the Journal of Democracy of January 2012 by Fukuyama, entitled
Transition to the Rule of Law.
Transition to the Rule of Law.
Transição para o Estado Democrático. Então, o que é que Fukuyama está a falar? Ele está a falar, toda a experiência histórica aponta para a precedência do Estado de Direito sobre a democracia. Não só o Estado de Direito precedeu a emergência da democracia, como também é observável que as democracias mais antigas e estáveis foram as que resultaram do gradual alargamento das garantias do Estado de Direito a todos os cidadãos.
And this is what Fukuyama says in this article. Every historic experience points for the precedence of the state of law over democracy. It is not only the state of law to precede the emergency of democracy, but also it is observable that democracies, the oldest democracies and the stable democracies, were those that resulted from the gradual spread of the warranties of the state of law to all its citizens.
Porque ela, então, compreender a ideia de que não deve insistir na consolidação do Estado de Direito, na consolidação de suas instituições.
From that I understand that we should work on consolidating a state of law and the institutions of the state of law.
Na África, te fica a ideia que fraqueza de democracia na África é fraqueza de ser Estado de Direito.
My idea is that the weakness that we see in democracy in Africa is the weakness that exists in the state of law.
E que construção de Estado de Direito é prioridade institucional na África e construção de Estado de Direito.
And that the construction of the state of law in Africa is a priority to do so and to do the state of law.
Outra questão que não deve debater, se está pensando na África, é aquilo que se chama assim, feiticismo das eleições.
Another issue that needs to be talked about is what is being called the witchcraft of elections.
Por quê? Porque alguém está a pensar que basta fazer eleição, todo o problema será resolvido.
Because people think that you do elections and everything is solved.
Tem uma crise na África institucional. Fazer eleição.
People think there's a crisis in Africa, what do? You have some elections.
Tudo alguém está a falar, fazer eleição. Depois da eleição, te ajudava.
And after elections, we'll see.
Não tem dúvida que ela também é boa decisão.
I question if that is the right decision.
Porque importante é instalar instituições de Estado de Direito.
Because the most important is to install the institutions of a state of law.
Como? De que maneira quando pode fazer? Ele está a depender da situação de cada um.
And how we go about it will depend on each situation.
Minha ideia é que não deve ser mais não deve pensar bem cada solução para que não está propor.
What I think is we have to ponder deeply for every solution that we propose.
Outra questão que não te apoia é se a boa é livre, um Estado é livre, só para manter ela independente.
Another question that I ask is whether you are free and your state is free just for the simple fact that you are independent.
Tem uma bandeira, tem um hino, tem um governo.
You have a flag, you have an anthem, and you have a government.
Ainda não,
That's not enough.
porque libertação é um processo. Mas para você libertar, você tem que libertar de tudo a dependência que você tem.
Because liberation is a process, and to be free, you have to also free yourself from all the dependencies that will be lingering on you.
Até onde você é livre, se você é dependente financeiramente. Até onde você é livre, se você é dependente tecnologicamente. Até onde você é livre, se você é dependente em matéria de conhecimentos.
You are free to the point that you are independent financially. You are free to the point where you are technically or technologically independent, and to the point that your thoughts are also free.
Você pode ser livre se você produzir suficiente para a alimentação do seu país.
You cannot say you are free if you're not producing enough to feed your people.
Se você tem segurança alimentar,
If you don't have,
outros se chamam soberania alimentar.
some people call it food or
Sovereignty?
sovereignty.
E então, se você quer trabalhar para libertar de facto a terra ou o país, você tem que conseguir reduzir aquela. De que maneira? É a pergunta.
And if you want really to be free, you have to work towards reducing this dependency for your people. And how are you going to do that?
Então, avançar com duas ideias. É preciso ter política certo, primeiro. Segundo, é preciso ter uma estratégia e pôr interesse nacional no primeiro lugar.
I would make some suggestions. One, you need to have the right policy, you have to have a strategy in place, and you have to always have your national interests in first place. as a priority.
Se eu perguntar se Cabo Verde é completamente livre, tem que falar que não, tem que reconhecer que não, porque tem cheio dependência, cheio fragilidade.
Because if you ask me if Cape Verde is really free, I would have to say no, because we still have a lot of fragilities.
Porque a hora que tem que essa dependência, tem que essa fragilidade, a vontade é limitada.
Because when you have dependency and fragilities, your will is limited.
A vontade, aquele que o desejo é limitado.
Your desire is also limited.
Você tem que ter em conta a posição de quem que te ajudou.
You have to take in consideration the positions of those who are helping you.
É como se você está, na português, partilha de responsabilidade com aquele outro. Quer dizer, afinal, a independência é só de bom.
It's like you are sharing responsibilities. Your liberty doesn't belong just to you.
Por fim, outra questão que para mim é mundial hoje. Questão de cidadania e questão de responsabilidade individual.
Another question for me, another issue that I believe it's also a world issue, it is the question of citizenship and individual responsibility.
Mintache nunca no mundo cidadão, uma pessoa que tem tanta responsabilidade como hoje.
I believe that individuals have never had so much responsibility over them as of today.
A hora que eu penso na crise que está no mundo, vou te perguntar, mas esse governo ele só está a fazer as coisas, ele pode garantir solução para esse problema?
When you think about the crisis that's going on over the world, you wonder if a country by itself can resolve all these problems that we have.
Pessoalmente, acho que não, e que quem que pode ajudar a resolver esse problema é cidadão, é cada um de nós.
Personally, I don't think so, I think not. But who is going to solve these problems are the citizens. We are.
Não pode manifestar, não pode revoltar, mas de contestar, mas não tem que trazer nosso contributo pessoal, individual.
We can stage protests, we can explain our disagreement, but at the end, we have to come up with solutions.
Cada um de nós deve tentar refletir, olhar naquele que ele pode trazer uma contribuição para resolver esse problema mundial que não tem hoje.
Each one of us should be reflecting and sitting and thinking how we can contribute to solve the problems that we have today.
Nunca tem só uma crise financeira, uma crise econômica. Não tem uma outra crise ou um outro desafio que é mais ou menos o seguinte: como é que não pode terminar com violência no mundo, fazer com que violência termine no mundo?
We don't have only a financial and an economical crisis. We have another crisis or maybe another challenge, and the challenge is how to end violence in the world.
Mas está evidente, né, nós diante que tem um problema criado para fanatismo religioso.
It is evident that we are facing an issue of extremism in religion.
Não está de acordo que cada alguém tem direito a ter uma religião e a defender essa religião.
We agree that everyone has the right to have a religion and to defend your religion.
Nós estamos no século XXI. Nunca tem nada a ver com o século XV, século XIV, o século XVI, XVII, mesmo com o século XIX. Nunca tem nada a ver com aquilo lá. Hoje nós estamos no século XXI.
This is the 21st century. We have nothing at all to do with the 15th century, 16th, 17th, or even the 19th century. This is the 21st century.
Coisa que baleba no século XV, no século XVI, ou mesmo no século XIX, cabale hoje, não?
The values of centuries past, 16th, 17th, 19th, they don't worth anything today.
Mesmo coisa que baleba na 1950, que cabale hoje, não?
Even things that were worth something in 1950s are no longer good.
Não reparar evolução que uma coisa importante teve no mundo é a igualdade.
Let's observe the evolution of the world. And one of the things that evolved a lot is equality.
Hoje não se está a caminhar de facto, a igualdade também está construída, não se está a caminhar para a igualdade.
And today we are, in fact, walking towards equality.
Alguém que pode falar, mas agora não está volta para trás para não vir ali na 1950, nunca pode.
There's no way we can talk about things today the way we were thinking about them in the 1950s.
Essa questão também é outro que a humanidade tem que resolver, não?
And this is something that humanity must resolve as well.
De que maneira? Pode perguntar, nunca sabe, nunca tem que remédio para aquilo.
I don't think I have the medication.
Essa é alguma reflexão que eu queria fazer para conosco sobre liberdade, democracia, Estado de Direito e responsabilidade.
These were some of the reflections that I wanted to have here with you today about liberty, democracy, state of law and individual responsibility.
Questão de responsabilidade é fundamental. Que tem direitos sem deveres.
Responsibility is also fundamental. There are no rights without obligations.
O tarde de chegar para alguém que te exigiu, reclamou, exigiu, mas eu te perguntar, de pode eu fazer a parte?
Yeah, you always have people that demand a lot. They complain a lot. Just ask a simple question. Have you done your part?
Futuro de democracia te depende de responsabilidade que não assumir cada de nós na sua defesa, mas sobretudo na seu aprofundamento.
The future of democracy will depend a lot about individual responsibility, what we do towards defending democracy, but also what we do in terms of deepening democracy.
E cá, que agora é com questão de África, questão da Europa, com questão da América, é de todo mundo.
And this is not an issue that belongs to anyone in particular, be there Africa, America, or anyone else. It belongs to everyone.
Que é responsabilidade de cada de nós na construção de futuro diferente e melhor para a humanidade.
Which is the responsibility to build a better future on democracy for the humanity.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask if we could just give another hand for President Pires for his very wise remarks. I think we've just had the benefit of listening to the wisdom of a very elder statesman, and he definitely can answer in the affirmative to that question of, have I done my work? I think that this wisdom emanates from the fact that he's not only lived through so many important historical eras of a nation, but that he has been personally influential in the way that those eras have played out.
He said, yes, I am still trying to do my part.
Okay, good. So you're a great example for the rest of us. I know that there are many people who have questions for you, and they'll begin to formulate those questions. And I know that people may begin lining up at the two microphones that we have. While people are doing that, I'd like to ask President Pires a question myself. And that question is, what's the secret to going from being a freedom fighter to a pragmatic politician?
Qual é o segredo para fazer a transição de ser combatente para político pragmático?
Vou tentar. Como é ela, respondo diretamente. Só ela.
I'm going to try to answer. Since it's your question, maybe the answer is just for you.
Okay.
Nem acaso não aprender sempre, de aprender sempre. Quer dizer, nós é obrigado a fazer aquele doce, ser do freedom fighter, mas ao mesmo tempo tem sentido de equilíbrio e de possibilidade.
In my case, it's been what I mentioned here, which is to always learn. Being a freedom fighter, but also do not lose the sense of balance and what is possible.
Nem acaso teve sorte de conviver com um homem que também era, de um lado, ele tinha uma grande ambição, era um idealista, mas do outro lado era um realista.
In my case, I had the opportunity, I'd say, the privilege of being side by side with a man who was also as much as an idealist as he was a realist.
É um dilema que não tem que gerir entre nosso desejo e realidade.
It is a dilemma that we have to always be able to solve. It goes the balance between what we want to do, what is our desire, and what is the possibility, what is reality.
Grande problema de facto é transformar revolucionário num homem de Estado.
And that's what makes it possible to transform a freedom fighter to a statesman.
Homem de Estado é completamente diferente de freedom fighter.
A statesman is completely different, you'd say, from a freedom fighter.
Mas tem mesmo aspiração, mesmo desejo, mas aquele outro tem que ter sempre em conta interesse de ser país, e realismo, aquele que é possível,
They all have, I'd say, the same aspirations and desires, while the second one has to always take in consideration what are the interests of his country and what are the possibilities of his country.
És irmão gêmeo.
They are twin brothers, I'd say.
Okay, thank you. I love that answer because I think that it responds to one of the dilemmas that we really are engaging in the world today. We see the passions of young people inspiring revolutions around the world, but we also are observing that difficult movement when people try to transition from revolution to whatever's next. So thank you for that inspiring answer. All right, so I think we have a few people lined up for questions now, and the president has requested to take a few questions all at once, but given the number of people that are here, I think we'll go here first, then back over here. So.
Com licença, eu vou falar em português para o senhor. Eu não falo português muito bem, mas eu acho que o senhor merece meus esforços.
I'm going to ask the question in Portuguese. I would say that I don't speak Portuguese very well, but I believe that you deserve, Mr. President, that I make an effort.
Meu nome é Mariah Smith. Eu estudo aqui em Wellesley para 4 anos.
I am a student here in Wellesley for 4 years.
Eu sou cabo-verdiana e até eu era uma criança eu queria saber sobre minha cultura e meu povo, mas na verdade eu não conheço minha família cabo-verdiana.
I am Cape Verdean, but in fact I don't know very much about my family, my Cape Verdean family.
A minha mãe está aqui e ela quer saber muito sobre a cultura dela também. Ela não conhece a família dela também.
My mother is also here, and also she doesn't know very much about the culture of Cape Verde.
Quando eu comecei aprendendo muitas coisas aqui em Wellesley, eu queria pesquisar sobre Cabo Verde. Então, eu pesquisei sobre nosso país e sobre o senhor também.
And trying to learn about Cape Verde, I did some research about Cape Verde and also about President Pires.
Então, eu viajei ao Brasil para 4 meses e comecei aprendendo português lá para preparar para minha viagem ao Cabo Verde.
And I traveled to Brazil for 4 months where I learned Portuguese, which also would allow me to start preparing for my trip to Cape Verde.
E depois do Brasil, eu passei acho que 3 meses em Cabo Verde trabalhando com uma organização sobre as mulheres e eu estou trabalhando num programa de microcrédito.
And after that, I spent 3 months in Cape Verde where I worked with a women organization and I didn't get that last part.
Eu estava trabalhando com um programa de microcrédito.
And there I'm working with microcredits, a program for women in Cape Verde.
E acho que minha viagem em Cabo Verde foi momento que eu realizado meus sonhos.
And my trip of Cape Verde allowed me to realize my dreams.
E agora eu posso falar com minha mãe sobre o Senhor, sobre nosso país, sobre nossa cultura, porque minha faculdade foi ajudou-me para aprender muito mais sobre minha cultura.
Now I can talk with my mother about our history, about our culture, and I'm grateful to the university who also allowed me the opportunity to learn more about my culture.
E agora eu quero que o senhor falar mais sobre como Cape Verde transformou em país que é bom exemplo para outros países na África e outros países de desenvolvimento.
And I would like, Mr. President, to talk a little bit about how Cape Verde became an example in Africa, an example for other countries in Africa, and through development.
E porque Cape Verde vai ser o único país que vai alcançar todos os metas de milênio de desenvolvimento até 2015.
Because Cape Verde is one of the only countries that will achieve the Millennium Goals in 2015.
Muito obrigada, senhor.
The goals of development.
He would like to blend the question, so I would like to take your question.
President Pires, since you have retired, you are now the leader of the Amilcar Cabral Foundation. Can you say more about Amilcar Cabral and the struggle? And the second part is, can you tell us which countries were helpful during the time of the struggle for independence?
Okay, then we'll come back to the side.
Boa tarde, me é Jaqueline Varela, estudante internacional na Bridgewater State University. É uma honra estar ali hoje, presença dessa partilha de nosso presidente Pedro Pires. Primeiramente, queria parabenizar o Prémio Ibrahim, eu penso que ainda está no tempo. Quando ouvi aquela notícia, ainda estava na Cabo Verde, fico muito contente e orgulhoso enquanto um cabo-verdiano. E me também é muito feliz e orgulhoso com a democracia que tem na Cabo Verde. Não tem uma democracia sólida, mas é preciso não reconhecer que no mês se solidificar cada vez mais. Mas, por outro lado, a mim triste com a situação na Guiné-Bissau, para aquela relação histórica e política que não tem quase. E minha pergunta para o Sr. Pedro Pires é qual que tem sido o papel de nós para ajudar na melhoria de situação na Guiné-Bissau. Obrigado.
Okay, my name is Joaquim Varela. Jacqueline Varela. And I am an international student at Bridgewater State University. I would like to congratulate Mr. President first for the distinction from the Ibrahim Foundation that you received. I was very happy when I learned about it. And of course, we have a democracy in Cape Verde that needs consolidation, and we also have a long history with Guinea-Bissau. And I would like to ask Mr. President what you have done or been doing to help the situation in Guinea-Bissau.
Eu não tenho três perguntas de tentar responder a essa pergunta, para a ordem de sequência.
I'm going to try to answer these questions in that order that they were presented here.
Na Cabo Verde, na hora de começo, quando não começar, está numa situação em que nunca podia errar. Era fundamental que errar, nunca podia cometer nenhum erro. Qualquer erro pode levar a nós para desastre.
In Cape Verde, when we started, we were in a situation that we could not afford to make mistakes. Any mistake would mean disaster.
Nós era obrigado a buscar sucesso e a ter sucesso.
We were forced to seek and to achieve success.
Porque também não tinha no nosso espírito essa pergunta, afinal, nosso país é viável?
Because in fact, deep inside we had that question. Is our country viable in fact?
Nenhum discurso que fazia utilização essa palavra, viabilização do país.
I utilize a lot this sentence, viability of the country.
Nosso esforço tinha que ir naquela direção, viabiliza Cabo Verde.
And all our effort would have to go in that direction, to make Cape Verde viable.
Então, nós era obrigado a pôr tudo aquilo que não tinha, nosso esforço, nossa ideia, no sentido de viabilizar Cabo Verde.
And we had to put everything we had, all our efforts, to make Cape Verde viable.
E assim que não começar.
And that's how we started.
Nesse esforço de viabilização de Cabo Verde.
With an effort to make Cape Verde a viable country.
Hoje, Cabo Verde tem mais recursos, melhor condição, mas ainda não deve fazer esforço de viabilizar Cabo Verde.
Today, Cape Verde has better resources, we have better conditions, but we have to continue to try to make Cape Verde viable.
Então, nossa política vai naquela direção lá de construir país, viabilizar país e até que não consiga esse resultado.
And our policy has has been that of continuing to build the country, to make the country viable, and that's how we achieved what we achieved today.
Outro aspecto importante é a gestão de recursos que você tem.
And another important aspect is how you manage the resources that you have.
Quer dizer, aí é importante, e naquele aspecto lá que é importante combater mau uso de recursos que você tem, ou combater corrupção.
And this is very important that you are able to also fight against corruption and the bad utilization of your resources.
A hora que você tem pouco, está convencido que risco de corrupção é menos. A hora que você encheu, risco de corrupção é maior.
When you have a little, the risk of corruption lessens and it increases when you have more.
Talvez não fazer melhor gestão de nossos recursos e nos estabelecer melhor nossa prioridade.
I believe that we were able to do a good management of our resources through priorities.
E, de facto, Cabo Verde está a cumprir objetivos do milénio.
And in fact, we are going to be able to accomplish the goals of the millennium.
Outro aspecto que é importante, que fala dela, é cultura institucional.
Another aspect that is very important, and I didn't talk about this, it's the culture in the institutions.
Deve fazer esforço para despessoalizar nossa instituição, nossa administração.
We have to make an effort to dispersonalize our institutions, our government.
No DB, porque lá na cabeça de cabo-verdiano continua a insistir, nós nunca podemos fracassar, nós não temos que ter sucesso.
And we have to continue to put this in our minds, the minds of Cape Verdeans, that we cannot fail, we have to succeed.
Assim, não te chega aquele objetivo maior que não crê, que chegou a um ponto que a mim não te chama ponto de irreversibilidade. Quer dizer, a hora que desenvolveu aquele ponto lá, já boca pode ter regressão, boca de volta para trás.
And that's how we can get to a point that I call the point of no return. When you reach a point that you no longer are going to retrocede.
E riscos de regressão são sempre presentes.
And these risks of regression are always present.
Assim que lá que é outra ideia que não é pôr na cabeça de pessoas, no seu pensamento.
And it is important that we have this also in our thoughts, in our ideas.
E não quero saber se responder a pergunta, mas queria agora felicitar a Bel para seu esforço de aprender português.
I hope I answered your question. I want to congratulate you for the effort that you've done in learning Portuguese.
Hoje nós é obrigado a ser poliglota de papel de sua língua.
Today we are, forced in a way to be able to speak, to be multilingual.
Por exemplo, a mim, qualquer fraqueza, não papel se não sabe papel num lugar que alguém tem papel francês, não papel só francês.
And for me, what is my weakness? If I was in an ambient where people would speak only French, I would be able to speak French.
Não papel português,
I
francês,
speak
papel
Portuguese, I
espanhol.
speak French, I speak Spanish.
Não papel inglês, não papel pouco inglês.
But I don't speak English, or I speak very little English.
Que essa dificulta a nossa comunicação.
And that's, being an impediment here in our communication.
Não quer saber se ainda é tempo para aprender inglês.
I don't know if I still have time to learn English.
Depois que saí de presidência, de facto, presidi a Fundação Amílcar Cabral.
After I left the presidency, I assumed the presidency of Foundation Amílcar Cabral.
Fundação Amílcar Cabral é uma instituição que, em primeiro lugar, é uma homenagem a Amílcar Cabral.
The Amílcar Cabral Foundation is an institution that first was created to render homage to Amílcar Cabral.
Segundo lugar, é que é uma instituição que está permitindo recuperar e preservar nossa memória.
And also it is an institution that will allow us to recover and to preserve our memory.
Que lá é importante, questão de memória de um povo, memória de uma luta,
It is
memória
very important.
de um esforço de construção.
The memory of a people, the memory of a struggle, the memory of your construction.
Porque outrora não te pensa que não está no mundo, não está numa espécie de guerra de sentido.
Sometimes we believe that we are in a world where we are in a struggle of senses.
Sense? De sentido.
Sentido.
Uma luta de sentido, quer dizer, cada está a querer impor sentido que ele te dá à história, ao acontecimento.
I mean, a struggle of positions, like everyone wants that his side of the story be this side of the story.
Esse é um combate de ideia, um combate permanente, não?
This is a constant struggle.
Não querer dar sentido a nossa luta, não querer dar sentido a nossa resistência, não?
And we want to make sense and give the position of our struggle, of our resistance.
Não criar essa fundação, aquele objetivo.
And that's the mission behind the creation of this foundation.
No próximo dia 18, 19 e 20, não tem um fórum na praia para debater ideias de Amílcar Cabral, mas para debater ideias sobre a nossa situação atual, não?
On the next days in January 18, 19 and 20, we'll have a forum in Praia to debate the ideas of Amílcar Cabral, but the ideas of Amílcar Cabral at the light of today's needs.
Também o historiador, investigador africano, alguns que estão ali na América, também da Europa, para nos discutir que lá.
We have invited historians from Africa, some from the United States and from Europe that will come and help, bring some light and discuss these issues.
Agora, nosso combate, nos luta que nos fazer, nesse princípio, porque as lutas têm duas partes. Ele tem aquele de libertação, dois, é a segunda etapa de construção de Estado de Direito e de desenvolvimento de economia, desenvolvimento econômico, social, institucional, cultural, tecnológico, etc.
Because we have, since we started the struggle, we have two parts. The first part, of course, is the liberation, but the second is the building of this state of law, constructing the state of law, developing the economy, the social structure, infrastructures, technology, culture, etc.
Naquela primeira fase, nosso grande apoio vem de própria África, de Organização da Unidade Africana, de nossos países vizinhos.
For the first part, most of our support came from Africa, from the Organization of African Unity and our neighbors.
E depois vem de vários países, de países europeus, mas não teve grande ajuda extremamente importante de Suécia.
And right after that, we had a lot of support from Europe, from a lot of countries in Europe, and I should also mention we had especially big support from Sweden.
Sim, a ajuda de Suécia, talvez dificilmente. Nós de Vitória era muito mais difícil. Não?
And I should say, without this support from Sweden, the achievements that we were seeking were going to be much more difficult.
Mas não teve ajudas de países socialistas, não teve ajuda de várias organizações e entidades individuais.
We had support from some socialist countries and also from organizations, non-government organizations and individuals.
Na segunda fase, não abri para o mundo.
And a second stage we opened to the world.
Nós, parceiro, quer dizer, parceiro é países de todo o mundo.
And our partners are countries from all over the world.
E nesse momento não tem uma excelente parceria com os Estados Unidos da base de programa que é Millennium Challenge Account.
And right now we have a special partnership and support from the United States through the Millennium Challenge account.
De modo que não está aberto ao mundo.
We are open to the world now.
É difícil na construção do país vou concentrar nesse ou naquele outro. Tem que abrir para o mundo.
When you are building a country, it is difficult for you to just concentrate in one country. You have to really open to the world.
Então, nesse momento, nossa preocupação, de meu particular, se está no governo, é cooperação com países africanos. Como é que nós fazer para reforçar nossa ligação com países africanos, nossa ligação com Angola, nossa ligação com Moçambique, sobretudo.
And my concern was also how to reinforce our cooperation with African countries, namely Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, how to do that.
Mas na África, eu queria ressaltar 2 países que, efetivamente, foi de grande importância para nós. Um é a República de Guiné-Conakry, outro é Ghana.
And I'd like to recognize the special support that we received at the beginning from 2 African countries. One was the Republic of Guinea-Conakry, and the second one was the Republic of Ghana.
Em relação à Guiné-Bissau, tem dificuldade de encontrar uma resposta. Mas não tem estado a falar na discussão o seguinte: não deve pensar sobre Guiné-Bissau, refletir, perguntar por que tal coisa está acontecendo.
Regarding Guinea-Bissau, hasn't been easy to find an answer. So I have been thinking, and it hasn't been easy, but we have to pose the question: why are the things happening the way they are happening?
Estado de Guiné-Bissau é refém de suas forças armadas.
The state of Guinea-Bissau is now hostage of his own armed forces.
É fundamental resolver esse problema. Todo tempo que o Estado de Guiné-Bissau continua refém de ser Forças Armadas, em que poder real está com Forças Armadas, está claro, o país que avança está condenado.
It is fundamental to solve this problem because as far as Guinea-Bissau continues to be the hostage of his own armed forces, I don't see a solution. I don't see the country moving forward.
E toda a gente tem que compreender que é fundamental libertar a Guiné de sua própria força armada.
And we all understand that it is fundamental that we free Guinea-Bissau from its own armed forces.
É uma grande fraqueza institucional.
It is an extreme weakness for the institutions.
Falar um bocado de instituição e cultura institucional, mas a fraqueza de Guiné-Bissau está na instituição e está nesse facto, nessa situação que poder real que te resolver, aqueles que estão, que te resolver com eleição, hein? Ele te resolver com afastamento completo de forças armadas de poder.
And I talk here about institutions and the culture within institutions, and the real weakness of Guinea-Bissau is within the institutions. The real power is not able to solve this problem with elections only.
É um problema, é questão a encontrar solução. Lá também que tem solução, não?
Here I don't have a solution, but a solution needs to be found.
All right. I would like to thank President Pires for answering this group of questions so thoroughly and giving us some important insights that we could carry forward. Actually, I think that the next group of questions is going to have to be carried over to the reception downstairs, where people will have an opportunity to continue the conversation. But I think that we've all gotten a take-home message about how to be influential in world affairs and to find ways from wherever we find ourselves to make a difference.
Good, it's better. Good idea.
It is a good
Thank
idea.
you.
Yes.
Bring the questions.
Okay, well, he's excited about bringing the questions to the reception too. So we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you for being a wonderful audience.